on our video to be seen on YouTube. Now we're visible.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'll read my almost. So I'm gonna read an older poem.
Hmm.
I kind of want to read one of the poems that I came up with when we were going back and forth, just to see how it sounds now.
Okay.
Um, shoot, okay.
Hmm. All right, Kay. Just.
Alright, I'm gonna read some of this. It seems incomplete though.
Hmm.
Everybody has a rhythm. That's nothing special. The way of the mind is to find patterns, and here you go, singing again. Okay, that one was incomplete. So next we're gonna like pick up on another rift poem. We already talked about you being the love poet. You can have it. Box yourself. I'm the real thing. I keep growing, shining. Okay, that one. Sometimes I write lines of these and then I finish them like on air. Okay, here's another one that I started typing out. Imaginary friends. I need to be honest. I was really talking about me. How did I reveal that? Wow, you revealed your identity, but that doesn't make you the real thing, a real person living under a fake name. K Bellz is me. K Bellz. That was kind of interesting. I think I'm catching a taste for like deconstructed poems.
Okay, okay. Okay. Um, I have my poem. My brain is a four-lane highway that tends to get backed up due to accidents. Convo be going great, then crash. My tongue gets stuck in traffic. My jaw is the brakes. I open my mouth to speak, but no words come out. So I close it again, put on the brakes. Words that usually come naturally aren't said. Sometimes it's my fault. Gotta apologize. I apologize for what I said. I didn't mean that the way it sounded. I'm sorry this, I'm sorry that. Sometimes it's not, but I still end up apologizing. I'm sorry. Overanalyzing my words to make sure they're the right ones. The right ones don't always come, so I just put my tongue in park, wait for traffic to clear up. Need something to break the silence, so I just keep apologizing. Be my
That had a nice ending.
Thank you.
It also had a good rhythm.
Thank you again.
Okay. You want to talk more about it?
I mean, it it was inspired by multiple things, multiple situations. So it was just like sometimes I just end up just apologizing for nothing or apologizing for stuff that I have said or done, and yeah, it just yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm thinking of a poem right now, so I'm just gonna like try to be a little bold and say
And riff. Okay, K's first freestyle.
it's not. No, no,
No.
it's not really a freestyle. Like,
Um,
are you allowed to write stuff down for a freestyle? Is that's an
never
unwritten rule?
mind, never mind, never mind. I take that back. I take that back.
No. Oh, okay. Untitled. I always imagined the love of my life living in real life with me. Now I imagine the love of my life only living in my imagination. Chaos.
Hmm.
That could be a tweet. Not really a tweet, but you ever see those well, it could be a tweet. And someone can take a picture of the tweet and put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a tweet. That
It's
could.
it's I don't want to say it's an ugly tweet, but they are snappier tweets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
Why do you only imagine the love of your life being in your imagination?
I just feel at this point, love of my life is now just a concept. It's not like it can only exist in my mind. And I think I adore it enough in that environment where I just don't need for it to be externalized anymore.
Mm.
I don't mean to make myself sound like an alien. I don't.
You definitely sound like a person who doesn't believe in love anymore.
Do I?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
What? I'm like, okay. I will say I'm not a hopeless romantic anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't know what changed. You know, sometimes you just change your mind on stuff. No? That doesn't happen to you? Maybe it happens to me. But, yeah, I used to be like a hopeless romantic. Love shows and movies with like romance plot lines, books, and all that. And I still do. I just feel like, uh, it's fiction. And it's best loved as that. What?
Okay.
What?
You sound like you hate love.
I do? I sound like a love hater?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like the leader of the love hate base. I don't think I'm the leader. Maybe I'm the secretary.
Second in command?
That's the VP. I don't think I'm the Kamala. You think I
A
am?
little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Dang, I'm gonna have to think on that.
Yeah, you kind of.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
That's the first time you heard that?
Being the Kamala of the love hate base?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we just made that up.
I mean,
but I didn't,
is that the first time you've heard you sound like a person who doesn't believe in love anymore?
Yeah, that's actually kind of sad. Because I don't think I don't believe in love anymore. I just don't think it's for me anymore. But I think it's for other people. I think it's real. I believe in it to an extent. I sound like a love agnostic right now.
A love agnostic is
Yeah.
crazy. Okay.
That's kind of like a cool name for a poem. I love agnostic.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh. Let me.
Well, that's kind of an interesting way to think about love. Like in the construct of religion, you have your devout love followers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those who meditate on it, pray on it, who read the word. They read all the love poems and they read all the testimonies and they read all the truths and the doctrine about love and they follow it. They tell people about it. They live it. And then I guess it's the love agnostic where like, yeah, it's there. The existence is around everybody. We all have the ability to feel it. However, it ain't all that. There's limitation.
Mm,
And then I think there's like a third category of you don't believe in love at all.
the,
Maybe
the love atheists.
yes, the love atheist.
Mm.
So maybe I used to be a devout.
You're bordering between agnostic and atheist. Yeah, you're on
Really?
that love agnostic, love atheist border. I don't know.
That's crazy. I never imagined that for myself.
Yeah.
I never did ever.
Mm.
It's odd. It's
Yeah.
odd being at odds. Because love is wonderful,
Yeah.
So it's like,
Love is awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. I love love.
I almost said, but I'm gonna say anyway. I used to love love too.
You still love love.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're on that border between, like, you're riding the thin line of love atheist, love agnostic. Yeah.
But I feel like that's an incomplete sentence. I used to love for me. Now I don't really think it applies to me in the same way as it did before.
Mm.
I think it's okay to change your perspective on things.
Okay.
You're like, not on fundamentals. I don't know. It's all on how you see the world, I guess.
A little cynical.
Is that cynical? That
Yeah.
is cynical. I don't get it. I don't get. So, what are you imagining is the lifestyle that one lives if they feel like, oh, I don't have a soulmate, or I've already met my soulmate, or you know, there's no love to be had for me in that way anymore.
Um.
How do you imagine that person lives, or like what their day to day is?
I imagine that person to be, like, not necessarily hateful towards love,
Oh my god.
but, like, spiteful a little bit.
Spiteful?
Yeah, like,
Those are powerful adjectives. Hateful, spiteful. Like, I feel like you're looking at this as either you're fully pro love or you're fully anti love. Like, I feel like you're looking at it at extremes.
nah. I'm like, for some people, I'm like, okay, I can understand if you don't, like, believe that you're ever gonna find your one.
Okay.
But those are people who've been through multiple divorces.
Multiple divorces? Divorce is serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why those people, I believe, are like, okay. They're just like, okay, I'm just gonna live how I wanna live. I don't care. I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna try no more to find love. I'm just gonna live.
Okay.
The the people who are, like, have a little, like, faith and love for them are the people who have, like, had either multiple breakups because of someone else or multiple breakups because of them, and are like, okay, am I the problem? Are they the problem? If if it was multiple people who said the same thing, am I the problem? Or so I'm gonna just keep trying.
Okay.
Then the hardcore love people are like people like people like me who have, even though they have gone through, like, had bad experiences with love or had bad experiences with relationships, they just they keep trying anyway.
Okay.
Like,
I get what's going on here. I get what's going on here.
what?
I feel like the way our lives work together, we're always on opposite. So I feel like when I was in a relationship and it was really good, you were really miserable. In love, like you were really still trying to find your one. And now I'm like at a loss and you found your one. So I'm feeling like the tables have to turn back around. I
Wow!
think
No!
when it comes to this, it's like the light side and the dark side of the moon. Like,
Jeez, Kay.
I'm just kidding. I'm not wishing misery on anybody. Um, I think that's just an odd coincidence for real. But I see what you're saying. I mean, I kind of think you repeated yourself a little bit between two things. The second and the third, you were like, oh, but they keep trying anyway. You're basically saying the only people who give up on love is those who have been beat down by love so much they just don't have anything left.
Yeah, and those are the people who've been through multiple divorces. That's what I believe.
Oh, okay.
Because it's it's like those people who've been through multiple divorces,
Yeah.
I feel like are just like, okay, I tried once. Okay, it didn't work. That's it's not always gonna work the first time. It's
Huh?
the second time it was like, okay, they're starting to they're starting to figure out whether or not they're the problem or someone else is the problem.
Yeah.
Because after that second divorce, they're like, they're just thinking like, what's the disconnect?
Yeah.
Am I just finding the wrong people,
Right.
or am I the issue? And then after that third divorce, they're like, all right, whatever. I'm
3 strikes you're out.
right. I'm done trying. I don't want to have anything to do with love no more. I'm done.
I feel like you're still operating on the perspective of you have to give it your best shot, sort of thing. You know, because maybe there's this thing where it's like something about humanity. Everybody needs that to some degree. So it's like, unless you've been defeated by seemingly nature, why not?
Right.
I mean, I'm still open to love, but I just feel ambivalent toward it right now. And I just feel like the, I guess the ideal that I have can only survive in my mind. And it makes me very happy. So I'm just going to live in that.
Okay.
But I kind of want to do an investigation to know, like, if there's a difference in opinion about what people think about forever bachelorettes and forever bachelors. I feel like people agree more with the forever bachelor than the forever bachelorette.
Mm,
Why are you mm-ing?
I have to disagree.
Why?
Because with the Forever Bachelorette, I mean, for the Forever Bachelor, right?
Yeah.
I believe it's one of two things, right?
Okay.
They either have really high standards
Okay.
and just don't take anything from nobody. As soon as they see the first red flag, they jet. Or those people who have really low those guys who have really low standards, and just take whatever. If she cheats, she cheats.
That's just an open relationship. It's not even cheating. Like, if you're cool with it.
But like those, it's like those guys with the low, very low standards. It's like I feel like they they just get beat up and defeated by love or what they perceive as love.
I think the same could go for women with very low standards. I think that have low standards, that's an effect of low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
So I think both people can suffer from that respectively.
Yeah, yeah. But the I feel like the women with very high standards are more respected than the men with very high standards.
Oh.
Because
Well, I feel like it's. Oh, go ahead. You say your opinion.
because if a woman has really high standards and not necessarily her attractiveness, but her mindset matches those standards that she has for everybody else, that it would be easy for her to attract somebody that has those, that matches those qualities.
Okay.
But if she has high standards and has a ugly personality, then those those it won't match up.
Okay.
But if a guy has high standards and he's I mean the same, it could go either way for the guy too. But like I feel like a woman with more high standards is more respected.
I think that has to do with like the dynamic of society because I feel conventionally women are pursued. So to be pursued, you have to be desirable, and a part of being desirable is to be unattainable. So when you reject, that like heightens your unattainability. And
Yeah,
I feel like having those high standards and saying no to a lot, it shows, well, you're being pursued a lot, and you know you're not attainable to a lot. So that kind of like heightens the attractiveness, heightens the chase, the pursuit. Versus, men I think are conventionally expected to pursue. So it's like, the expectation is to go after, sort of thing.
mm-hmm.
And I also think the convention, or most people think that like men are very physical creatures in terms of like attraction. So the what's drawing them in first is like what they can see, and that's superficial.
Yeah,
So it's like I think the first thought is their standards are superficial. So if you have high standards, it has to do with looks and not really what some people believe is higher value, which is like characteristics, like personality traits.
yeah,
So it's like, oh, a guy with high standards, they want someone who's like physically, like unattainably beautiful, sort of thing. And it's, that's looked down upon. I
so
think that's the psychology there.
what I've always said and always heard is like looks draw you in, but that mindset, that personality is what keeps you.
Yeah.
Because if if you look at somebody and be like, I don't really know, they're not really my type, but I'll try, and then they end up having a dope personality, anything everybody else has to say about their looks doesn't matter. Because they have a good personality and you like their personality. So you're staying no matter what.
Yeah.
But if you give somebody a try that's not really your type, and their personality is just, ugh, just,
Mm-hmm.
ugh, you're gonna be like, not doing that again.
Right.
Because I gave that one person a shot, and their personality was just, ugh. So in the future, I'm just gonna go for my highest standard, what I'm used to, what I'm attracted to,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm eventually find a guy whose personality matches what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Um, I definitely think there's truth in, like, as people, we're attracted to what we're exposed to. That's for sure. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing, because if you've been, like, exposed to, you said you've been exposed to, like, good examples of relationships in your life, so that sort of molded your standards of what you were looking for yourself. But there are people who were exposed to bad examples of relationship in their life, and unfortunately, unconsciously, they went after that too. And then you have to, like, learn the lessons of that. So yeah, that's something to be conscious of. I think about what you're exposed to.
So I'm gonna read another poem.
I've been waiting.
This one I haven't read in a while, so. Letter to little me. Never downplay your poetry. Never be afraid to perform. Do whatever you have to get your voice heard. Don't let anybody silence you. Don't let anybody try to steal your voice. You are you. You try. You, you don't fit into anybody's box. You are strange, but in a good way. You are an outcast. You will always be an outcast. You handle things differently than other people would expect they might.
I know you riff at the end of that. What was the riff about?
Just
That,
think
I mean, like, was that an unfinished poem?
what?
The poem you just
Yeah,
said?
yeah.
Oh.
It was unfinished.
Oh, okay.
The riff was just like something I had to like relearn
Okay.
because it's like I personally I've always thought of myself as an outcast.
Okay.
Someone that like doesn't go the same way other people go. So like being that outcast, it's like you already know you're not going to be accepted by many people.
Right.
So just be you.
That's a good reminder. Be you no matter what.
Yeah.
That's true, because if you walk around, like, trying to get, you know, confirmation, affirmation, reverence from other people, you're never gonna have enough. Other people can't fill you up. So, I was just looking through my poetry catalog and I realized, oh my gosh, I have so many love poems. Like, this used to be my whole life. Well, not my whole life, but, like,
Yeah, okay.
I used to put so much energy into this. I have a poem called Emotional Turmoil, Chocolate Covered Happiness. Sincerity is scary. Just remembering sincerity is scary reminds me that that whole narrative poem was inspired by, like, someone I met while I was dating online. I'm never trying another dating app, by the way. Like, I mean, I know everybody wants to know, but
Uh,
but I'm never doing that again. I feel like most people I talk to who have tried those apps have like more negative experiences than positive. Like just upon reflection, like even if you meet somebody and you're like still with that person, generally it was not a fun phase to be on the apps. I don't know.
yeah, as someone who used to be on the apps, um, the constant swiping just got repetitive.
That's one thing people complain about, the
It's,
swiping.
it's like the swiping,
Yeah.
the constant hoping that the person that you swiped right on you,
Yeah.
and if they didn't,
Mhm.
that would be crushing.
Oh.
I feel like guys go through that rejection more.
Yeah. Girls get more matches on those apps, like statistically. So, and I believe those statistics. I know a lot of them are like generally are falsified, but these are coming from these apps. So I believe it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I have this poem, Fresh Kisses, that was inspired by someone blowing a kiss to me, someone I didn't even know, but I, like, at the time was, like, you know, pursuing the love of my life, so it felt, like, really special.
Yeah,
But
what
yeah,
happened to that K?
I don't know. She's tired of people. Like, I just started writing, it's people, the poison of my love. It's people. And that's why I feel like I can't get hurt in my head. Like, I can't be disappointed in my head. Disappointment is like, that's a part of the poison for me. And I feel people are so disappointing. And I'm tired of being disappointed. And on that note, Napoleon B. Might, do you have one more comment before we go to break?
Um, hmm.
I should take a picture of this expression and post it on our Instagram. It's a very Michaela thinky face. If you remember the gymnast from the Olympics, she kind of had the side smile, like the side smirk of unsatisfaction.
Um, hmm. Don't give up on love, y'all. That's my out there for you.
All right, and we'll be back at 9:30. Hello, you're listening to Poetry Slam with Bellz.
And your boy Napoleon B. Mike.
We're back with TayDZ to talk about some poetry news.
We're back.
Oh, scratch that. Oh, you know how y'all
Huh?
are. Which, by the way, good show so far. Normally, very interesting. Normally, this show is, you know, B might be down in the dumps, and then, us talking about, his mindset. So it's a very interesting inverse tonight. Very interesting.
I think you two think I'm down in the dumps. What's so sad about being single forever?
Just nothing sad about that.
Okay, then what?
There's something sad about somebody who used to be this opposite way and then became this opposite way. That's what's happening.
It's the extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I'm the extreme one.
You went from one pole to the next. That's all. Like if a man came in super positive and he was happy, woo, and then the next day he came in crying, that's like,
Well, what's going on, man? Let's talk about it.
I mean, I don't want to take over your show or anything. Although I do wish I had actually done the show earlier. That was a very good conversation from both sides, honestly.
Okay.
What do you think of our perspectives, Tay? What do you think about my perspective?
That's what you really want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, to even just I really feel like I feel like if I'm with you being like on certain things, there are some things that I'm kind of like on the fence about, specifically, like with the whole conversation about, in terms of rejection for different sexes, and who who kind of like expectations in that kind of realm. I feel like I feel like it's this is gendered, but it's also based upon the personality. Some women are more aggressive than men, and some men are more docile, not docile, not even the word, are less aggressive, and that's perfectly okay because, frankly, people match up with who they want to match up with, and some guys being a little softer is what some women like. Honestly, it just, I don't know. I feel like uh all in all, uh, there's nothing wrong with being single forever. Being single forever actually can be very good. Shoot, save your money, right? You can literally save money. But you know,
I
like
think
you
I'd
could buy
save more money in a relationship. I feel like the
Typical
person that
woman
I
answer.
would be with
Typical
would
woman
get me
answer.
a lot of things.
Typical woman answer. Don't you agree,
so.
TayDZ? Don't
You
you?
know what's funny is
Mean,
that
what good is he if he's not buying me things? No, just kidding.
that's
Uh,
wild, actually.
Who wants to take care of a man out here?
Hey,
okay.
you know what? Let's take care of each other, everybody. Let's take care of each other.
Not you with this kumbaya on my
Yeah.
show. No, no.
Nah, I agree with
Look,
Tay.
You know what? This is why you like Tay on here because you two agree on stuff. Let me get another featured guest who agrees with me
oh,
80% of the time.
okay. I like the term love agnostic. I like that term.
Thank
I
you.
think it's a very good term. I think for the love atheists and the love faithful, they have their sides, and then the love agnostics are in the middle, and they're like, well, maybe it's not for me, but maybe it could be. Or like, they believe in it, but they don't think it's, but they think, well, who cares? You know, and I think, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Uh, you know, however, it's just one of the, I don't know, I guess, I guess my own perspective on it, as somebody who, quite frankly, was relationshipless for like a good portion of his life, looking at relationships from the outside looking in, and as somebody who has been almost like a relationship counselor for multiple people in relationships, uh, quite frankly, people sometimes need to just relax and maybe just don't, I don't know. Maybe I think we just need to kind of just relax and take a step back and maybe not be too uptight about you know y'all don't have enough time for my opinions on this. So you know
Oh
what?
man.
I agree.
No,
Oh man.
That.
Come on, Tay. Come
you don't
on,
have
Tay.
enough time. You don't have enough time for my opinions on it. You would have to, because I could sit here and give y'all an essay about people, relationships,
Post it on
standards.
Instagram.
Post it on Twitter.
If y'all would read it, sure.
I will read it. I will read
You
it.
got fans, Tay?
I will read it and repost it.
Cool.
Retweet it.
Cool.
Be
Maybe I
like,
will. And they, I'm finna get I'm trying to get a microphone soon, so maybe I'll do some audio. Who knows?
oh, TayDZ, guess what?
What?
My recorder arrived in the mail today. By the way, everyone, I'm already a professional producer, so I have a microphone. I mean, I'm not trying to throw shade on TayDZ, who's just getting a microphone, but I want you to know that I already have one and have had one for a while, and I just, upgraded the recorder.
Yeah, you got that one in, didn't you?
Um,
It,
was
it,
it sweet?
it was a one-upping situation, but let me just slide my hand in there real quick.
Oh.
I've had a mic and a soundproofer
Oh,
for a minute now.
got an egg carton in your room.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah. Not you calling his operation,
Some
roughshod,
recycling.
makeshift.
No, it's one of those eyeball things, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called, but
Oh.
it looks like an eyeball, like a giant eyeball that you just put over the mic, and it just
Oh.
soundproofs the mic.
That's That's really cool. Okay. You got
How those
some foam from one of the packages that you received. They
she had.
picked it up.
You see, she had to throw two
Who's
punches.
she?
She,
Who's she? Who is she?
K
there's
Bellz.
only one she on the show.
Who
Hey,
is
Bellz.
she?
K Bellz had to throw them two jabs in,
You see,
so she wouldn't feel one up.
so the poem that I'm writing, I feel like the single woman is the villain. You know, what's going on, guys?
What you mean this single woman is a villain?
Yeah, I feel like I've got a bad reputation right now. No?
No.
No,
Single women are
no, no.
Oh, okay.
Love,
I was
we
gonna say,
love
not on
women.
Women's History Month, guys.
Yeah, we love single women. Single women are great to get many things done.
Okay. Well, what's the rest of your opinion on our previous conversation, TayDZ? So we can read a couple more poems, do this poetry news, and wrap up our show.
For you being I think that I'm happy for you, and in your in basically your 180 turn from how you used to feel about love to how you feel about it now.
I was never a love doubter.
I'm not a love daughter.
I was never a love
Let's
agnostic.
self-love doubter. Let's say self-love doubter. A love agnostic. Yeah, that's.
I was never a love
We
agnostic.
gotta pull some tape on Be My.
I think you were I think you were sort of in like that questioning phase. You know, that
Okay.
phase that some religious people get into where they're like, why isn't God answering my calls? You know,
But
why isn't love answering my calls?
doubt makes your faith stronger, right?
Hmm?
That's in the
Yeah.
Bible.
That's
like,
facts, cause it.
Yeah.
only takes a mustard seed.
Yeah.
Have faith.
Exactly. And and for UK Bellz, I feel like I think it's just the stark contrast of thee who loved love to thee who is cool with love, but won't invite love inside her house for a cup of tea.
I would invite it in my house.
No,
Listen,
no,
listen.
no.
I'm not hopeless. I'm not hopeless. I have a mustard seed.
Okay.
It's
You
just
have a mustard.
literally a mustard seed. You're used to like the jar of mustard powder. I just have a mustard seed right now.
I don't think that makes you a love agnostic because if you have the mustard seed, that still makes you a lover of love.
That's
That's
how
your
I
love.
feel. Like you guys are taking it to oh, you hate love. Oh, you don't think there's a chance for maybe that's what I accidentally said.
That's what you've been saying.
That I'm gonna be yeah, I mean I'm probably gonna be single forever, but that doesn't mean I'll never love again.
You had a sapling.
A sapling.
You had a small mustard tree,
Okay.
and then it got chopped down and shredded, turned into mulch.
Oof.
But there's still some.
No, even the stump got turned into mulch.
Okay.
That's no stump. That's no life. No stump.
Yeah.
The whole tree just got chopped down and turned into mulch.
So that's all I'm saying. For how you worded it, you made it seem like you made it seem like you and love don't talk anymore.
Facts.
We don't talk anymore. So that was all.
I used to secretly want to be famous. Now, I just want to be a ghetto superstar.
Okay, Frost.
Okay, this is what's got me thinking this. So on our poetry, news, we talked about this. What's the problem? What's the problem?
Yeah.
What?
Ghetto superstar.
Yeah, I mean, if I just have 500 faithful fans, if I just, stood on an apple box and like recited some poems, and everybody bopped their heads, I'd be cool with that. If I was just hood famous, I'd be cool with that. If I was just black famous, that's a peak.
You trying to be underground.
Yeah, that's what ghetto superstar is. Like, famous on the scene.
They sell your poetry books out the back of their trunks.
I'd love that. I would love somebody to make DVDs of every episode of our show and like try to pass them off for $2.
You would never see the revenue.
Nah,
But
right.
like hey, I'm cool with it.
Oh, what? Hey. Oh, good. Okay, cool.
What? Am I in a hole or something?
Yes.
Oh.
Be my revenue.
You want $2 from somebody selling your CD on the street? You can't let that go?
Hey.
That's publicity.
Hey.
You have to chalk that up as publicity.
Hey. Run me my money.
He wants that percentage. He said, you better give him my royalties.
Even if it's 70 cents.
Yep.
Yes, sir. 70 money is money.
70 cents adds up.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Change adds up.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a good quote. That's a really good quote. Change adds up.
Change adds up.
You can use that for other
situations.
Huh?
Change adds up to a difference.
Yep.
That could be a Twitter poem.
William P. Knight and Bellz.
Right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that could be a poem.
Okay, so TikTok poetry. Anybody ever watch this stuff?
I did. I haven't.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's blowing up. It's blowing up, along with growing claims of plagiarism.
I knew it.
Right. So, there are 48 billion views on the TikTok poetry hashtag, and it's just getting really popular. It's sparked criticism from people who feel some of the most popular poems are too simplistic to be truly considered poetry. That's what we talked about on the show. What is poetry? What is not? What does it mean? And some poets shared their work, and alleged their poems have been plagiarized and published in books and posted on TikTok by users with bigger platforms, leaving the original authors unsure of how to push back against those who may be profiting off their work. So, how would you feel if you posted, you're a big creator, you post it, and you see other people posting your poem or, publishing your stuff? Like on TikTok, on social media.
Again, run me my money.
Oh.
Run me my money. Cause what you doing? Cause better.
I feel honored to be on the black market.
I would be like, nah.
Wow. I guess you and Jordan Peele agree on that because he did something when his new movie Nope came out. What did he do? He didn't allow it to stream anywhere. You could not find his movie on any of the black market streaming platforms. He put something in place where you had to go see his movie.
Yeah, no, that would be me.
Oh.
That would be me. I would make my poems so unique to me, and I do make my poems so unique to me that, like, they're not plagiarizable. I just had to. Yeah. They're not, because anybody who tries to take my poem and make it their own,
Yeah.
like, bruh, like, you didn't write that. You like, bruh, no. Give me my money, because I'm suing you.
Oh, wait, hold up.
Tay, what do you think about this?
I don't know about suing them. I mean, if I'm suing somebody, it's better to be for a lot of money, but
I'd sue somebody for $1. I'd sue somebody on principle.
Yeah.
you're going to get $1, and then that lawyer, who's taking your case?
Well, I'm imagining I'm pretty well off. I can just sue on principle. But I would see somebody who, like, if a lot of people are stealing my work, like, and claiming it as their own, like, I don't mind if people, like, repost me.
Right. If
You
they just
know.
repost me, that's fine.
Or
But
if they're, like, sharing my stuff, but they're not
right.
charging for it, okay, fine.
Mhm.
Like, I kind of equate that with, like, someone selling my CD for $2. I'm like, okay, that's not a big deal. However, if someone is, you know, saying my stuff like it's theirs, publishing my stuff, I would sue them on principle. Like, I'd make an example out of them. Like, if people keep doing this, I'm going to legally pursue you as well.
Well, $1 ain't gonna do it.
Oh,
Like I said, you need to, if you sue somebody, it better be for some money.
Right.
over
The
everything they
principle is
have.
still, the principle is to that check.
Right. If you sue somebody for principle, for to make an example out of them,
Yeah.
you gotta sue them for like $100,000 at
Wow.
least.
That's the
Figures
real
or nothing.
example.
At least $100,000
Wow.
because
I don't want to be a public enemy though.
no, you won't be a public enemy. You'll
Well,
be
if I'm
defending.
already rich, people are gonna be like, "Oh, why are you going after the little guy who's
You'll be
taking your stuff?"
you'll be defending your content, your product.
People won't see it that way though. They'll be like,
To be
"Well, what difference does it make to you if one person is doing this?"
Well, one
To
person
be
turned
fair.
into many.
Like, to be fair, if you're suing for $1, all the person has to do is just give you that dollar.
That's not
Taste it.
true.
I mean,
They have to
you know,
pay to go through the legal process. They would have to, you know,
I'll settle out of court.
get
Here's
an
your dollar.
attorney. They
Right?
have
No,
to
for
attend
real.
court. They have to take off work. They lose wages.
No, they settle out of court
They
Like I
just
said,
settle.
for
Yeah.
$1.
for
For
that
$1.
$1. They will settle out of court and just give you that dollar. But
For real.
if you sue somebody for $100,000, then they would have to go through all that stuff
Oh,
to defend their point.
I
You
know.
see that? In their way of life. That's crazy.
Nah.
Yeah, that's 100K. That's 100K. If you sue me for 100K, I'm put my armor on.
Cause look, I'm just saying, cause if somebody's stealing my poems
Yeah.
and trying to pass them off as their own, and they're selling books of my stuff and trying to pass it off as theirs,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm suing for $100,000, cause that's stuff that's royalties that I'm missing out on. That's money that I'm missing out on because you're publishing my stuff as your own.
That's crazy. That's super crazy. Especially if you have like a distinctive style
Exactly.
as an artist and they're trying to claim you not just your words, but how you say your words and how you represent your words. Yeah, like that's insane.
That's,
You know,
that's exactly why I write the way I do, speak the way I do, because if somebody try to copy my style, oh, I'll notice. I'm gonna notice.
we'll know it to be my poem if somebody tries to steal it.
Exactly.
We will know.
Exactly. So
Just like we'll know that it's a Bellz poem.
exactly.
I
So
don't know if my poems are that distinctive.
I'd
so
say they are.
so if somebody tries to steal my poems and pass it off as their own, oh yeah, nah.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
might,
know.
I might just do 150 just to be petty.
Guys, I want to take this back to the poetry news because we actually talked about Rupi Kaur on our show a few months ago because she was one of the first major poets to get famous from Instagram, Insta poetry. So now we've got TikTok poetry, and chief critics of this are saying we have to shut down poetry until we figure out what's going on.
Huh?
Here's an example of a TikTok poem. When we first met, I had no idea that I would become so attached.
Huh? That's it?
That's one poem. Okay. So here's another example. Poetry is not a normal sentence broken into smaller fragments. Both of those are just two They're just simple sentences, but they
Yeah.
break them up to make it seem like right. So that's why people are saying, "Oh, this isn't a real poem," and others saying, "Well, it is." And people are saying, "Well, this is Rupi Kaur and her consequences. It's been a disaster for poetry because her poetry style, it sort of sounds like a conversation, like through her poetry books, and it's like very simplistic, known as insta poetry or insta poetry. So the
Nah.
sentences I read you, how do they sound to you? Is it poetry or not?
This,
Nah. Nah. No.
this,
No.
this sounds like back in like postmodern art when people used to ask, like when like artists would start like putting like toilet bowls in like art museums and then calling it art, and you had to sit there and debate the efficacy of whether or not it was art. Because is art a painting? Is art a sculpture? Does art take time to make? Or is art simply something that makes a statement? No
I feel like
matter what it is.
art is a combination of all. Like,
Yeah.
because art, even through audio, art can be visual.
Mm-hmm.
It can make a statement,
Mm-hmm.
and it can take time to make.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so art encompasses all those things.
So then, what makes those TikTok poems not art or not poetry?
Because they don't, it doesn't sound, it doesn't make a statement,
It is a statement.
but it doesn't make a statement.
Oh,
But
it
what
has
is
no
it?
impact. Is what you're
Right.
saying. But that's why they break it up to give impact.
No,
That's just making it poetry.
even when they even broken up, it's not poetry in my opinion.
It's just too
Mm,
simplistic. Is what
Yeah.
you're saying. You're not giving an experience. You're really just saying a thought.
Right.
And your thought is weightless.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
is but but I mean, is it weightless? I mean, okay, I'm not trying to be the advocate. Do I personally think that's poetry? I think they're doing the most bare minimum of what you can do to make something poetry and not a sentence.
mm-mm.
Uh, I don't think that last one is poetry. That first one could be.
They're both like equal in terms of style and content. Truthfully, they are. When we first met, I had no idea that I would become so attached. Each pause is like a line break.
Yeah, no, like that does not. It doesn't make a statement to me. It doesn't.
I guess it depends on how you relate to something because if you relate heavily, it's like a tweet. If you relate heavily, you're like, oh, this tweet. If you see this statement on TikTok, you could be like, oh yeah, I feel this, even though to someone else,
It's like, what is this?
you don't even see the heavy relatability in this.
No.
Oh, dang.
I
Okay, let me read you guys the contrary opinion. People are saying, well, one person is saying anything that leads people to reading more poetry is a good thing. So this is the poet Blake Auden, and he's thinking that Instagram and TikTok are good tools for the democratization of poetry
I
because it allows readers to respond to work they enjoy.
Anything that leads you to read more poetry is a good thing. Understandable. That doesn't make it poetry.
exactly.
Anything that can lead you to use the bathroom doesn't mean it's food.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, TayDZ.
Just
I as a I'm gonna call myself a poetry enthusiast.
Okay.
Poetry. Um, not necessarily expert, but one step below that. Um, I personally believe that anything that someone, not everything that can lead somebody to read poetry more, it can be considered poetry.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a good thing, but like that simple of a quote unquote poem, no, that's not poetry.
That's symbol of a statement.
It's a statement broken up.
We have to
Yeah.
start doing a segment on here titled "Is It a Poem?" We need to have a debate about these things because this is our second week talking about whether or not, like, what is poetry, because it seems to be evolving, especially in this age of social media and like the sensationalism that's happening with art.
I,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of those poems.
Okay.
They're yeah. They straddle the line too much. Like they're just they're not even haikus.
Right.
A haiku is nice.
Yeah.
Like,
That's not even a haiku though. It's not
True.
it's not even broken up like a haiku.
There's strategy to a haiku, you know.
right.
There's like a theme, all that. Okay, guys, we're at the end of our time here on Poetry Slam. TayDZ, it's always great having you on the show. Do you have any last statements for our audience?
Just because I bang pots and pans together and make clanging noise doesn't mean it's music.
Thank you, TayDZ.
Uh,
Napoleon B. Mike.
just because I might say something like this doesn't make it poetry.
Beautiful.
Thank
A
you.
forever bachelorette is not a sad story.
Okay. Okay, Kate.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for listening to Poetry Slam. I'm Bellz.
And I'm your boy Napoleon B. Mike. Good night, everybody.